What's up, guys? So it's Sunday night, 8:52 p.m., and we are gonna do a few breakdowns of things that I'm looking at this week. Thank you guys for checking it out. So the first thing I want to do is look at the two positions I held through the weekend, and just a disclaimer again, you can see up here, this is a simulated training still, so simulated trading, I should say, sort of training. I reset my numbers on this last week. So last week I was up around $1,700. And what I've been trying to do is focus more on what I'm on the price points that I actually might be interested in when I start with like a fairly small account. So, if I put in 1,000, 1,500, something like that to start out, then I'm not going to be trading on $150 stocks or anything like that. So what I did over the weekend, let me go to you can see I'm holding TGTX and TEVA. Both of them actually had a little bit of slippage right before the weekend, or I think TEVA might have been down like $10 or something, and then TGTX was down like 20 or something, and then it slipped a little bit more. But if I go to the chart here and pull up the 180-day charts, you can sort of see what I was looking at. So TEVA is the one that's in better shape right now. And, again, still like pretty good indicator on the MACD, showing signs of a potential reversal. Is way oversold. It has this nice pattern. It's not really uptrending too much. I mean, this is the yellow line here is the SMA, or the simple moving average. So it's been like fairly flat. Maybe even a little bit of a downtrend pattern actually, but fairly consistent on the swings. So plan was to hold this. I think I got in at like 21 or something like that. And then or maybe it was 21.40, and it slipped down like just under that. So if it reaches its previous level of resistance, then we're talking about a potential percentage of about 14%, something like that, and I have my stop set at about a loss of less than 2%. So I'm definitely looking for like at least 4-to-1 profit to loss. But when you have something like this where you think it might be 14% to 2% or something like that, you're talking about like a 7-to-1 profit loss. So I really like that one. So gonna keep holding it. If it tanks, then it'll sell off. It'll sell. That's fine. TGTX, same sort of thing. So TGTX was downtrending for sure. Looking back at this one, it's one that I probably shouldn't have bought into. It's something that you can see the super moving average is definitely pointing down. This is the 180-day SMA, definitely going in the wrong direction. It was showing signs of a reversal here. I'll explain what I'm using sort of specifically in another video, but briefly, the RSI here in the MACD, you guys are probably familiar with this if you've seen other channels like this. You definitely had a good sign right here, but it's already peaking out, and I feel like this is probably going to turn and go down. So I actually tightened up the stop. I think I had it down like at the previous, like a little bit below previous resistance or previous support, which would have been like around 483. I bought in at like 615 maybe, and it's down to 615. It's down at 550. So I have my stop set pretty low. I would not be surprised if this ends up going down, just given the overall pattern. So looking back is probably not the smartest trade, but that's why we're doing this. That's why you can use paper money and simulated trading, so you can sort of you can learn, and we can learn from these types of mistakes. So we'll see what happens. Maybe you'll get lucky. Maybe it'll be good news or something like that. It's due for a quarterly report, so we'll see what happens. So those are the two that I held through the weekend. Feeling pretty good about TEVA, feeling not so great about TGTX. All right, so let's go to different watch list here. I'm going to pull up my pinning reversal watch list. So these are stocks that I've gone through using scanners, other people's opinions that I've sort of found and looked at and done my own analysis on, and I see that there may be a chance in the coming week or weeks, week or two, for these stocks to potentially play out nicely. There's a few in here that are from a couple of weeks ago that I'm still been sort of watching and are a little out of my price range, to be honest. So I'm gonna skip over those. Right now I'm thinking things sort of in the $3 to $20 range probably. So we'll go through. Let me just sort by the last price, and we'll go through them and sort of we'll go through a few of these here and sort of cut ourselves off at the line right here. But there are a few that are below that I'm sort of watching, just again sort of for practice. Like, I identified a pattern, I have an alert set. Had I had the account size, I bought into something like that, would I have seen what I thought I was going to see? So let's go to GERN. This is not a super healthy looking 180-day chart. The only reason I have this on here is because I had this ridiculous sell-off, and it started showing signs of a potential reversal. So, I don't love this overall. If we go to the 1 day, 1 minute, it's got decent volumes. So, it's probably, you're probably gonna be able to get in and get out if you do take a position. Previously, it had decent pattern, but this sell-off here is like really suspicious for some sort of manipulation of the price. So, it's possible that it will go ahead and turn, but I would be like very cautious with this one, and really make it prove that it's gonna go in that direction before I had a position on it. So I set the alert pretty high here, 256. See if it'll break that sort of $0.50 mark and keep climbing. Certainly, it's, as you might expect, because of this move right here, it's super oversold on the RSI. It was super oversold on the MACD. It is showing signs of reversal. I got a buy sign right here from this custom RSI MACD indicator that I put together, and I can go into that in another video. Next one is TRTX. So this one looks a lot nicer, obviously. So, starting a couple of months ago, it started making nice, consistent, higher gains with an ascending pattern here. Had previous levels of resistance around 580, and then broke that recently up to now 725, and then sort of sold off. Maybe gonna start consolidating here. I'm not seeing, on the RSI and the MACD, I'm not seeing that it's reversing just yet. But this is one that, I have an alert set pretty much right at the EMA. That's the 9-day EMA. So, if it starts to turn and go back up, overall the pattern's really nice, and I think it wouldn't be out of question. It wouldn't be crazy that this thing pushes up to a new high. Maybe 750 or higher. If we get in around the EMA when it confirms and it pushes to previous resistance, that's almost 18%. So, and then you'd set your stop if it sort of broke that pattern. So probably something like 4%. So again, sort of like that, almost 4-to-1 profit loss ratio, which is what I'm looking for. Plenty of volume intraday, not great, but plenty to play with, be able to get positions on. So the next one that I'm looking at is GALT. Not in love with this one. It's just showing some fairly reproducible patterns, and it's starting to have a decent uptrend now, whereas it really didn't before. So I like this, and so I think that kind of ignore the back half of this 180-day. The back half of this 180-day, where it was sort of just like didn't know what to do, sort of went up and went down. Had this big push up to almost $10 right here, got rejected pretty hard all the way back down to 346, and now it's sort of working its way back up, similar to the way it did back in May. So you have my alert set here for 6:30. You know, I think I might move that down just a touch. I think this is a nice one if it starts to move in that direction. Certainly, it's not super oversold, but the RSI is not bad. The MACD is definitely showing signs of a potential reversal there. So it's one to keep an eye on. Siri. So Siri is one that I traded, I believe, 2 weeks ago. Before this disaster happened. I think I picked it up. I have to go back and look. I think I picked it up. Let me think here. I think I picked it up here, thinking that, you know, we had this sort of pattern forming, like right here, thinking that it might kind of get, you know, maybe test that $7 limit again, and it sort of languished a little bit. I made a little bit of paper money there. Didn't like the sort of consolidation here, and then got rid of it, and then it jumped down. I think that's what happened. So, you know, basically this is another one where the only reason it's really on this list is because it's because of this huge sell-off. But you know, my gut, you know, given that the SMA is pointing in the wrong direction, the RSI is already kind of pointing back in the wrong direction, my gut is that this thing might push back down to previous levels, like around $5 or something like that. So not super interested in that one. Right, JNUG. JNUG's one that you've probably seen if you've been looking in this price range. It tends to be fairly active, more for day trading. I'm not super interested in this one right now. I do have an alert set in case it breaks above the $0.50 at 8. I move that down just a little bit, 850. Anyway, it didn't move. So, but yeah, I mean, you can see like the RSI was a little bit. I think I put it on the watch list here when the RSI was oversold, and the MACD was showing this potential. I got a buy flag right here, but it's just to this point hasn't really confirmed that it's going to go up. And given that the overall direction on this stock is, I don't know why this thing is being so finicky and not letting me get out of these lines here. Let me try to fix this real quick. All right. So yeah, I mean, you know, this is not super optimistic by any means here. Let's go to DGAS. This is one that traded on before. Again, if you're kind of like looking in this price range, you've probably come across this. I'm gonna go back to my line here and see if I have better luck. So, you know, overall showing a downtrend, but what you can see is amidst the overall sort of downtrend that it's been having, it does have these nice fluctuations. You know, anywhere from like 20 here to 23, back down to 20, back up to 23, goes from 20, peaks out at 28, and then drops back down to 20. So it just moves. This is one that moves. It doesn't always move in the direction, and overall it's not really moving in the direction that we want it to be moving in, but it does move, and because of that, and you can see these all these buy flags that you get sort of as it sort of, especially here, this seemed like this was a good time to see it kind of take off a little bit here. It sold back off pretty hard. Now it is sort of consolidating around $18, something like that. So you know, the MACD, I mean, it was obviously oversold. It's not really oversold anymore, but it was oversold, and it you know, a lot of buy flags came up. The MACD was crossing, and it kind of languishes here, right? It's just really not moving right now. So this is one that you can definitely see something more on the day trading spectrum, where you get like a bunch of movement in one day. But for me, for what I'm looking at right now, sort of like trying to swing these things for more than just a day, not loving the overall pattern on DGAS. Let's do one more. This one's sort of close to the cutoff that I'm going to be working on. I really like this one right now. So this is FNKO. And you can see that it was forming this nice pattern, continually going up, all the way up to $31. and then got rejected pretty hard at that $31 level. Now it's finding support here at under $20, around $19, 19.80. What I like about this one is that it just moved back above the SMA, which, as you can see, if we go back, it previously had offered a lot of resistance. It was kind of constantly moving its way up, sort of bouncing off of the EMA. And so, then it had this big bounce off the EMA, went all the way up to 31 and then rejected pretty hard. And when it rejected, it fell under the EMA lines here. I've got 3 EMA lines. You can go into those to another video. Even fell under its SMA line, but now it's bounced back off, and you can see that it's back above the EMA lines, it's back above the SMA line, the MACD's pointing up. It's just, for me, it's starting to get a little bit overbought, right? The RSI is like creeping up there. And so, it's possible that it's gonna find some resistance here and sort of consolidate, and it might go up again. So I have my alert set 24.27. I'm really interested to see what FNKO does. I think it's something that could potentially move again. And even if it consolidates and pulls back a little bit, that pullback may be a good time to buy. So we'll see. That's all I had for tonight, I think. Like I said, there's a lot of other ones that are on this list that are, for me, kind of more just like things I'm watching because I identified patterns and I want to see if they play out in a predictable way. But sort of getting ready for this transition into a real account with real money. I don't want to be. I know that I'm not going to have the buying power to make meaningful money on stocks priced sort of above $20 at the beginning. So. And even $20 is going to be pushing it. I think I'll have the most success in the sort of $3 to $10 range, but I'm not excluding the $20 ones if a really nice pattern shows up. So that's what I have. I'm going to try to do these kind of looking ahead at the week. These are like my top, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7-ish, 8-ish players for the week, and sort of going through them and breaking them down, seeing showing why I see value here. The obligatory disclaimer here being that I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a broker. This is what I'm seeing for me, and you should definitely do your own research and assess your own financial situation before you make any decisions to buy and sell positions in the stock market. So let's call it a night there. Good luck next week for those of you that are going to be trading either with paper money, still learning, or with real money, and we'll catch up soon.